Breaking. The United States has extended its pause on certain strikes targeting Iran, but the conflict continues, with no clear sign of resolution. In a major development, Donald Trump has confirmed that the United States will continue its temporary pause on attacks specifically targeting Iran's energy infrastructure for a limited period. The move comes as part of ongoing diplomatic efforts, with officials indicating that talks are still underway and that some level of progress is being explored. However, this pause is selective and does not apply to all military operations, meaning that strikes on other strategic targets are still continuing. At the same time, Iran has maintained its firm position, rejecting a US-backed ceasefire proposal. Iranian officials have stated that any agreement must be based on their own terms, and have emphasized that current conditions are not acceptable. Despite this rejection, communication channels remain open, and indirect discussions are believed to be continuing behind the scenes. To understand the current situation, it is important to look at how the conflict has developed in recent days. The escalation began with large-scale coordinated strikes carried out by the United States and Israel, targeting Iranian military infrastructure, missile systems, and command centers. These operations marked a significant intensification, and were followed by a series of continued strikes across multiple locations. In response, Iran launched waves of missile and drone attacks, targeting Israeli cities, as well as U.S. military positions across the region. Air defense systems were activated in several areas, intercepting incoming threats, while emergency services responded to damage and casualties. These exchanges quickly expanded the scope of the conflict, moving beyond isolated incidents into sustained military engagement. On the ground, military activity remains intense. Israel continues to carry out airstrikes on Iranian-linked targets, not only inside Iran but also in neighboring regions where allied groups are present. These strikes are focused on reducing operational capabilities, targeting weapons systems, logistics networks, and strategic facilities. At the same time, Iran continues its retaliatory strategy, using missiles and drones to maintain pressure across multiple fronts. This ongoing exchange highlights that both sides retain the ability to continue operations, making a quick resolution less likely. The conflict is also expanding geographically. In Lebanon, operations involving Hezbollah have intensified, with Israeli forces increasing pressure on the group's positions. This development signals a broader regional dimension, as additional actors become more directly involved in the conflict. Across the Gulf region, countries remain on high alert. Increased drone activity and security concerns have prompted defensive measures, as governments prepare for potential spillover effects. The risk of miscalculation remains a major concern, as any escalation could quickly draw more countries into the situation. Beyond the battlefield, the global impact is becoming increasingly visible. Oil markets have reacted sharply to the ongoing tensions, with prices showing significant volatility. Concerns remain particularly high around key routes such as the Strait of Hormuz, where any disruption could affect global energy supplies and trade flows. Despite the continued military activity, diplomatic efforts are still ongoing. The United States has indicated that discussions remain active, while Iran continues to signal that no formal agreement has been reached. At this stage, both sides appear to be balancing military operations with cautious engagement in talks. The situation now reflects two parallel tracks. On one side, active military operations continue across multiple fronts. On the other, diplomatic efforts are being tested, with no clear breakthrough so far. This combination is creating a highly uncertain environment, where developments can shift rapidly. Overall, the conflict remains active, complex, and unpredictable. While the extension of the U.S. pause suggests a possible opening for dialogue, Iran's continued rejection of a ceasefire, along with ongoing strikes, indicates that the path toward de-escalation remains unclear. This is News Insights. Subscribe for the latest updates on global events.